EDO governance setting agenda for the transparent leadership under Monday Okpebholo, the governor-elect, and you agree that November 12th is the D-Day where he will be hitting the ground running, taking mantle from the outgoing governor, Governor Obaseki, and what is expected of him as regards leveraging on the e-governance policies and, of course, initiatives of the Governor Obaseki's administration is all we are about today. And also, looking at the guest with me, starting from my immediate left, I have a policy analyst and public affairs analyst, and also the chairman of the PDP Equity Group, Christopher Ojekere. Thanks for coming.
Yes,
Chris.
Thank you, Philip. Good morning.
And next to Chris is Roy Oribabo, who is also a public affairs analyst and AKA voice of the commoner. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we'll be having the opportunity to be joined by other analysts via Zoom. We have Matthew Edelase, of course, Misa Itote from Abuja. So quickly, let's look at the need to leverage on the policy initiatives of e-governance of the Obaseki-led administration. November 12th is the day that is going to be, passing the mantle to the governor-elect Senator Monday Okpebholo. What do you see? Do you see a legacy? Do you see something on the ground that the governor-elect can leverage upon as he hits the ground running after inauguration?
The most visible part of Obaseki's administration is his unrelenting efforts to link Edo State, so to speak, to technology and to the internet. It is not a question of whether there is the need to. It is inevitable. Technology has become an inevitable paradigm, the trajectory of which is not determined even in Edo State. It's determined by universal best practices. So if technology is to be introduced into every sector, facets, not just of our corporate world and governance, but even in our private dealings. So we can't run away from it in Edo State, and we can't run away from it in Africa, we can't run away from it in Nigeria. Obaseki had done what is commendable for anybody to be able to do within the short time that he was there in 8 years, and the lean resources he has, to introduce technology to the civil service, to introduce technology to the educational sector, to drive the Land Use Act by technology, and technology in almost every facet of governance. So there is a technology structure in place for the incoming to leverage on. In fact, he should be very grateful to the outgoing governor who has put the structure in place for him to leverage on. And to make matters even better, the real drivers of the policies of government, which is the civil service, are all now technology savvy. They have been well trained by the outgoing administration, and they have started to use it. So it's a functioning system already. All he needs to do is to build on that, either to build more manpower or to bring in more equipment and expand technology to other scopes and other sectors of governance. So there's a foundation of technological, background for him to build on.
Well, looking at the need to have electronic governance, now I have the opportunity to introduce those joining us via Zoom. I have a very, very seasoned legal practitioner and a person of Damisa Itote. Good morning, Damisa, and how are you doing today?
Good morning, Mr. Philip. I'm very good. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Okay, and also joining me from Abuja, I have Matthew Edelase. Good morning, Matthew.
Mr. Phillips, thanks for having me.
All right.
How are you doing today?
Great. Well, we're looking at electronic governance and the need for us to set it right. And Christopher Ojekere has talked about the achievements of Governor Obaseki's led administration and the need for the incoming government under the leadership of Monday Okpebholo to hit the ground running. Let's get your bite, Damisa Itote, on what you see as a takeout, as an initiative that the Okpebholo-led government, as we expect him hitting the ground running on November 12th, will benefit from the outgoing administration of Godwin Obaseki.
Okay, thank you once again for having me on this program. And I met my very respected leader, Mr. Chris Ojekere, halfway into his interaction. And he made mention of the foundation that has been laid by the outgoing governor. Sincerely, I must commend the governor for taking the initiative to solidify the foundation that was laid by Comrade Adams Oshomole. So the truth is that there's a UN projection that by 2030, that is probably between 5-6 years from now, there will be a rural to urban migration, that about 60% of rural migration will be in urban areas. That means people will be migrating from the rural areas to the urban area 5-6 years from now, 60% of that figure. So the need for how to have technology in governance has become very sacrosanct. So, and the foundation that was laid in 2009 by Mr. Adams Oshomole, or Senator Adams Oshomole, was further amplified by the outgoing governor, Mr. Godwin Obaseki. So it's a good initiative, because why did I say the foundation was laid by Adams Oshomole? Mr. Adams, in 2009, set up a directorate of ICT within the government. Then in 2012, a legal framework and a regulatory framework was also set up. ICT law was passed, the ICT bill, was passed into law in 2012, giving teeth, giving bite to the need for government to embrace technology. So when this narrative is about Obaseki Foundation is the proponent of technology in government, I love, because people are not aware that Adams actually started, because that is a story for another day. But I must commend Mr. Governor, the outgoing governor, for initiating the drive, the policy drive, to solidify the foundation of technology in governance. So it's a good one. Then for the incoming governor, the governor-elect, distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo, luckily for Edo people, is highly computer compliant. He has two thriving, from what I've gathered.
Mr. Itote, a legal practitioner, and highlighting the benefits that will be passed to the incoming government of Senator Monday Okpebholo, who is the governor-elect. And he also spoke about the background of the governor-elect, Monday Okpebholo, as aligning with the requirements of the ICT on e-governance. Do you agree, Roy, that the Monday Okpebholo has a background that aligns with the requirement for e-governance to, be extended in his administration?
On a personal ground, I think the most distinguished Okpebholo, I'm aware that he have a background in that regard. But he's coming as a governor now. We don't know the approach and the way he will also be looking and taking care of his own administration. Therefore, I believe he has also have his own personal disposition regarding how he wants to manage the resources of Edo people, how he wants to preside over Edo. Therefore, to me, it appears we are second guessing. He has his own blueprints. Whether he's going to embrace technology is also another issue that we don't need to be.
But that's today's innovation. It's not a matter of option, but what he should do to bring about deepened governance. But don't forget, we look at the electronic governance should count on transparency, should count on accountability. We want a situation where, every Edolite can easily get information about what the governments are doing, or what the governor, or what the government under the leadership of the outgoing governor, and of course the incoming governor, is doing about development in Edo State. It should be at the tip of everyone's finger. If we say that we are compliant, as regards computerization.
That is what we are saying the same thing. The point is that the governor have his own mindset, the governor-elect. He can decide to jettison some of those foundations you just talked about. The foundation, according to Itote just now, is that during the time of our dams of Shomole, he envisaged that the world is gradually moving into a global village, and there is need for
e-governance.
Yes, for EDO to also be a part of the process. I am also telling you now that the incoming administration council say no. The foundation, he have every right to say, I'm not going to work with what is on ground.
But you said he has a background that allows
that.
So if he doesn't want to take that or deploy that, it means that he's going back to the crude methods, which is taking governance back to the way it was.
I say on the personal loan, that is on his own personal capacity. As a governor, he might not be happy with what is on ground. He might decide to say no, because if you take a critical look of what is going on in the streets now, if you look at it and you see the way people are being harassed now, you know, in the name of collecting revenue. You know, despite the swearing have not taken place, that also shows to you that whether we are going to be embracing this e-governance or we have its own mindset. And that's the reason why we must be very careful how we analyze this, the whole arrangement. And we must have a serious regard for the incoming governor. You know? We don't know his mindset. We don't know what he wants to do. Therefore, that's the reason that we don't need to be second guessing. Let us allow him. He have his own mindset. He have his blueprint. He have his agenda for EDO people. And as the voice of the commoner, when the time comes for we to evaluate and analyze what he will be doing, I will also be here to evaluate. As of now, I believe that we can discuss the relevance of in-government and in-governance.
Thank you.
Now, we cannot impose a methodology on him that we don't want to embrace. That's my position.
Thank you, Roy. Well, electronic governance can impact positively on revenue collection. And basically, like what Roy said, there is need for us to make an impact positively as per revenue collection. A situation where, you know, we have revenue collectors going directly to the market stores in order to get, you know, revenue directly from the people. Is that a deepened practice or a benefit of ICT? Well, let's join you. I know Itote Damisa will be ready to fire from where he left off, but let's quickly get your contribution on this, Matthew Edagase. What is the takeout from the Obaseki's-led administration that you see a Monday Okpebholo leveraging on in order to bring transparency in governance and accountability?
Yes. Obaseki, I must be sincere, did well in institutional reforms. And if I am to advise the incoming governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, who will be sworn in a few weeks' time, I will advise him to take and develop on what was good in the Obaseki policies, especially the institutional reforms. E-governance is one of them, those reforms that he should retain. What is good in Obaseki policies, I advise him to retain. What is not too fantastic, what is deficient, he should jettison. Anybody advising him to take everything he meant wholesome without tampering or tinkering with it is not being realistic. Obaseki has his own vision. Okpebholo is coming with his own vision. But what I will advise is that Obaseki vision should be interrogated. The aspect of it that is viable, that has worked, especially the institutional reforms, Okpebholo should, as a matter of wisdom, retain that. It will help him to build on his own vision. In areas of infrastructural development, I think Edo State and Benin City in particular has these endemic and perennial flooding issues. Okpebholo should see that as a matter of urgency. It should fix that large.
Okay.
And in terms of the infrastructural issue.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we're having a bit of challenge.
I think if you look at that quickly and fix the Ekoma Road, fix the Agbo Benin Road, within the first 100 days of office, you should look at those infrastructural issues and tackle them. Edo State will hail him and they will be excited that, yet, the Daniel has come to judgment.
Thank you, Matthew Edagase. I don't know if Damisa Itote, you're ready because you were paused as a result of non-connectivity. Can you fire on where you left off?
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you so much. The truth is that Mr. Roy is speaking that the incoming governor has his mind of his own, they come with his own ideology and all of that. I totally concede to that. But I'm speaking like a lawyer, or speaking as a lawyer, as it were. There is an existing legal framework. There is an agency, ICT agency. There is an ICT law. So it is incumbent on citizens to insist that the world is moving technologically. We should also not be left behind. We should not be left behind as Edo citizens. And Edo State must embrace. So we must encourage the governor, the incoming governor, who has said has an ICT background. I do not think that he will now come to power and jettison the technological reform that have been set up for him or for the government as it were, starting from the time of Senator Adams Oshiomhole as governor. So it is not his decision, quote and unquote, to say I will choose or cherry pick on what to implement. There is a law. The ICT law is in place. There's an ICT agency among the 79 agency MDAs, one of the MDAs, in government. Now, the truth is that we are not doing it transparently. And that is what we want to tell the incoming governor to us to do. We must have the political will to embrace fully and implement holistically technology into our system of governance. So that is that is the foundational base for the incoming government, to begin to look at. So it is not enough to say it's coming with its own ideology. Of course, it's going to come with its own ideology in terms of other areas. But as regards with respect to technology, we cannot cherry pick. We must embrace, we must encourage it, we must agitate that. Look, there is an existing legal framework. There's an existing regulatory framework. Implement this, implement that. Where it needs, where the law needs to be reenacted or amended, as it were, encourage him to do that. But saying he's going to jettison what the current governor has built on in terms of technology, then I will have my own.
Damisa, I also want your contributions in this regard, because we've seen situations where when an administration hits the ground and taking over from the opposition, there is always this tendency not to continue the projects of the previous. Now, we hear some saying that, well, the government is going to continue from where Adams Aliyu left off. And again, that would bring a setback in governance. What is your urge, or what is your reaction to this?
No, we are sincerely discussing e-governance. And I think that is the area we are looking at, we are focusing on. So I'm restricted to discuss this area. If there are other issues that were abandoned by other sectors that were abandoned by the outgoing governor, of course, it is incumbent on the incoming governor to revisit those areas left behind by Senator Adams Oshiomhole when he presided as governor. But specifically, there is a general consensus that in terms of technology, in terms of reforming some sectors, asking the MDA, 79 of them, 79 in number, embracing technology, I don't think the incoming governor should abandon those, that reformed sector. What we should encourage him to do is to not do it transparently, because we have observed, I've done some research, you can't even do some things up to now. It closed by Zambia, yes. Zambia enacted the governance, e-governance and law, e-governance acts, as it were. And in their 10 provinces, e-governance is being embraced. In their 116 municipalities, e-governance is being embraced. So we should be also encourage the incoming governor to toe that line. If there are other sectors where he feels he cannot, continue, or that needs reformation, as it were, of course he can decide to do that. But you see, as far as e-governance is concerned, we, as citizens of Edo, must insist that, look, we cannot go back to the old ways.
Okay.
Senator Adams Oshiomhole saw the light.
Thank you,
he laid the foundation.
I'll come back to you.
Governor Obaseki came and built on it. He should also continue from where Governor Obaseki stopped with regards to e-governance.
Okay,
That is my
Chris,
position.
Chris, we want to see a situation where all of this worked out for the purpose of deepening governance. Because if the people who are being governed are disconnected from this, of what importance, of what relevance, of what use. Now, how can we use the ICT, for instance, the e-governance, for instance, for the people who are being governed to get tools about projects being done by the government, make demands on, what the government is lagging behind to do, issues that will help to, improve on governance in Edo State. Now, these ICT tools, these mobile applications can also help. Areas where the governor has not been able to, properly, deploy. Now, what do you see as the incoming government should do in order to improve in that regard? Because we seem to have some gulf as regards even the outgoing government's administration in that regard.
Yeah, technology it's not the word that operates it. It is the skill. So the fact that you want to use technology doesn't mean that people will automatically be able to use technology. Exactly. They still have to be trained. They still have to understand the channels in which the technology work. For instance, e-governance, which is being used in the civil service, it's not every civil servant that has still been able to master the system. So that's why training and retraining have to continue. And the way you get more people involved is that you deploy it to more sectors. He made mention of revenue collection and tax administration.
Exactly.
And he was trying to introduce something which was significant, and which is probably why he has his doubts about whether the incoming governor is going to use technology. And that is that there is a critical branch, critical stakeholder branch in the APC, which were very visible in bringing this governor to be. And that is the people we call the lions and tigers, and whose activity since after the election does not suggest that they consider the man that they have elected as their governor. They seem to be in a hurry to set up their own administration first and then impose it on him when he comes. And that is why they have gone to the streets, to the parks, to begin to administrate revenue collection for the state on their own behalf and the behalf of their followers. And so he is looking at the fact that if the governor now comes in and is sworn in November 12th and wants to insist that we want to automate that system of revenue collection, even from bus drivers and market women and so on and so forth, is he not going to generate and start tension between him and critical stakeholders? And will he have the political will, as Damis has said, to be able to insist? Is he not going to be set against the very people who have that sense of entitlement that they are the ones that made him governor? These are realities. So if he is going to continue with technology, the only way to improve on what has been done is to expand it to places like that. For instance, all revenue collection and tax administration should be automated, fully technologically driven, so much so that nobody in the market should be allowed to give money directly to the hands of anybody. I mean, these things are easily done. That's what Damisa is speaking about when he's talking about transparency of driving the process. It is technology, but it's not rocket science technology. It's not AI technology. It is simple gadgets, programs. And all you need to, you can even use fingerprints. Okay. You can use, yes, so technology has been so simplified. Okay. You can use your handset, as you said. Once the government sets up a channel and say, revenue should come in through this channel, for instance. This educational technology, pedagogy, they give them tabs. Those tabs are truly loaded with teaching materials. And then there is a quality assurance board to monitor and that's in place right now, to monitor the performance of the use of that tab in class, and so on and so forth. Okay. Yeah, so assignments are given to children from certain age. They're encouraged to write them using the internet to collect information and so on and so forth. That's technology. That's how you spread technology across the society. So you must start by dealing with critical sectors who refuse to be compliant. for certain reasons. And you must not be seen to have any partisan interest or partisan blackmail holding you back from insisting on that. Okay. So that is the only way it now becomes, as you asked, you know, what is functional for the entire society.
Thank you. You made a very, very vital statement as regards the compliance level of those who are seen as the cronies of the incoming government administration, looking at the need for him to be able to key into automated revenue collection. What are your fears, Roy? Because there's a lot. He may mention of the lions and the tigers, but I don't know exactly what he means. But let's give it some flesh. Do you see this as a distraction for the incoming government?
You cannot be in Edo State and pretend not to know the meaning of lions and tigers unless you are doing it yourself.
So give it some flesh.
We all know there are lions and tigers, you know, and they also play a critical role in this election. You cannot now tell them to go to hell, and they will not take that. You know, my hope, I'm a realist, you know. I'm a man, I don't pretend about life because I've seen many things. I've also analyzed many governments. I know how government work in this part of the world, especially in a failed nation like Nigeria. You know, in a country that has been bedeviled with corruption.
So for you to say that Nigeria is a failed nation, please.
Of course, all the indices, the records are there. I'm not the one saying that.
But the focus is e-governance in Edo State.
To drop my point, that's what I'm telling you. The records are there. People are watching this program. You know, the issues are very direct. When you were talking about decisions that are not partnership. That is impossible in this part of the world, unless we want to be deceiving ourselves. There is no decision that will be taken by the incoming governor that is not going to be highly correlated with partnership, partisanship. Therefore, we must critically now look at it. And that's the reason why I'm still maintaining it.
Okay, are you saying that he may lack the political will to make sure that he goes against the lions and the tigers as being told by Chris?
It's not even about the political will. It's about this approach. What is his blueprint? We listen to a governor-elect where one man said, this is our mandate. On air, we were saying, he said, this is our mandate. Then, if you have that kind of courage to tell a governor-elect that this is our mandate, you know what will happen. Therefore, let us not, at this time, let's just hope and pray that he embrace the technology. As my friend said just that the foundation was led by Comrade Adams Oshomole. Then Governor Basaki came on board. I was able to develop it to a perfect situation where all of us were proud of that from Edo State. But that is also inherent, also very vital. Depending on where you want to take it, or the governor-elect to say, no, I can't work with this. Heaven will not fall.
Okay.
Heaven will not fall. Then, on the strength of that, he said, I have my approach to governors. I have my approach, and he's coming with that approach. Therefore, none of us have that ability to tell him, this is your approach. He has his own approach. He contested, he's the man representing me as a senator. He contested, and now he's not a governor. You know, we must look at the governor. As he said, because the world is moving, gradually the world is in a global village. Some persons, we are in this program, some persons are in Abuja now, they can't it's because of the technology. You know, I talked to some persons in the US as 5 a.m. this morning, it's because of the technology. It's not like there are still persons in this town, in Africa, who does not still believe in this technology. There are still persons who does not believe that you need to have an image. There are still some persons who are not in the social world.
All right.
Therefore, if it happens that we have a governor who does not believe that, there's nothing you and I can do or say about it.
Okay.
But very critically also, it's good, and we advise him to take a very good advantage of what is prominent in the administration of Governor Obaseki, which is the governance. Because anytime people talk about the performance of Governor Obaseki, it's very high in that approach in regards to e-governance. Therefore, I could have sincerely expected to build on it. But I also have a fear. But I'm appealing, as the voice of the commoner, as the convener of concerned Edo citizens, we need the best for Edo people. Therefore, if we can do that and make Edo to move at least where we are now, we want to see a critical development going on in Edo State. Whichever way, let there be. I lost an Anilo now in Irua. For the past 3 days, I've not been able to access that road. To me, these are what we are talking about. And the man is the governor-elect from that kind of job. No federal road, the federal road around there have since collapsed. If he cannot tap into this and give us road, My mother in the village will not be bothered about the income. I will be bothered about my son. You have the ability to call now because the road is not motorable.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
These are some of the issues we have to physically look into.
Let's quickly join Matthew. You were making mention of the positives of the Obaseki's administration that Okpebholo should deploy. But I don't know if you want to talk about the negatives, but I believe it should be streamlined as regards the e-governance. But again, you heard what Christopher said, and of course Roy, as regards the lions and the tigers. We're trying to put flesh on that. Now, do you see a drawback? Because if really, as a governor, you want to do the nitty-gritty, it means you must step on toes. If you want to deploy political will, it means you must offend some people, including godfathers. Now, do you see a Monday Okpebholo as getting ready to hit the ground and, of course, to damn whatever consequences may arise from doing his job as the governor after being inaugurated? Matthew.
Monday Okpebholo, the governor-elect, Senator Monday Okpebholo, is not a greenhorn in politics. He's a serving senator. He has been in politics long before he became a senator, under the tutelage of late Chief Tony Anene. So it's not a neophyte, as people want to paint him. He's a man who has a mind of his own. He's a captain of industry, so it's not a pushover. I do not want to subscribe to that gossip of lions and tigers or leopard and hyenas anywhere. He is the executive governor of the state. He will have the power to execute whatever policy he wants to implement. I do not see any individual standing on his way to carry on with his own administrative policies. That is not, it's not within the realm of expectation at all. We have highlighted issues and areas he should emphasize on. Infrastructural revolution, especially the roads, the federal roads in Edo State, and even the inner roads in the city that are giving the residents uneasy life. He should fix all of that. And coming to e-governance and all of that, technological deployment to governance, it is not a thing that is foolproof. Technology is good, but it can be manipulated and to achieve fraud. It should critically examine the e-governance and the technology that has been deployed so far.
Well, thank you very much, Matthew Edegase, highlighting on the performance that he expects that Monday Okpebholo will bring to perspective as he hits the ground running. But well, let's get your bite on that, Damisa. Do you see the political will as being threatened? The political will of Monday Okpebholo as regards the issues of lions and tigers?
That is quite you know, when we say lions and tigers, who are these lions and tigers? Are the lions and tigers collectively? Does their strength, can it override the strength of the Edo citizen? It's no. So if a lion comes to you to harass you as an Edo man, will you allow him to have his way? The answer is no. So we should not even on our own begin to ask the governor-elect to checkmate some acclaimed lions and tigers. We should checkmate them by ourselves. Why should we allow the few, a very few individuals to harass the city? Should we allow that as citizens? Should we wait for the governor to come and be telling us how to handle the acclaimed lions and tigers? The answer is no. So we should jettison that argument that there are some certain lions and tigers anywhere. Lions and tigers on the 21st of September 2024 did not come to vote as far as I'm concerned. We queued up to vote for the current governor. So we should protect him. Majority of Edo people voted for him, not lions and tigers. Lions and tigers anyway did not need the polling unit as far as I'm concerned. I voted in my unit, I did not see any lion and tiger. So why should he allow lions and tiger claim to come and be? No. We should not even allow the governor to face such. We should stand up as Edo citizens and ask the so-called lions and tiger to go back to the zoo or to go back to the forest. If they cannot abide with us, if they cannot dwell comfortably in harmony with us, citizens of Benin,
of Benin City, in the cities, in our villages, then we should ask them to go back to the zoo or they should go to the forest. So as far as I'm concerned, we should not even drive the governor to come and be fighting some certain lions and tiger. We, as Edo people, we fight the so-called lions and tiger, and the governor will prosper. That is my take. I don't have any question as to governor coming to fight lions and tiger.
Thank you, Damisa. Why I allow you to react to the last question I'll be asking as we round off on this. A lot of persons have said that, you know, even the outgoing governor stepped on toes to make sure that he got the job done. And as a result, issues degenerated to a point where some said that, well, he was losing, you know, solidarity, you know, from the members of the party. Now, what do you advise the incoming governor after being inaugurated as he hits the ground running to do in order to be able to manage the situation? Because it's one thing for you to set your policies, you know, your blueprint out. It's another for you to manage the people without having enemies in the course of the day.
I think the answer lies with his godfather, Oshomole. Because I have heard Oshomole say it not once, that a leader must make up his mind where he belongs, whether with the people or with the few cabal. He has said this several times, that a leader must make up his mind where he belongs, that you will come to the time where you have to take that decision where you belong. You see, when you watch politics progressively, you find that the human nature is progressively degenerative. You find that those who have greed, their greed continue to increase. Those who have sense of entitlement, their sense of entitlement enlarges according to how they think that they are in control of the situation. So you must deal with these issues. The point is that Okpebholo is a cobbled, you know, C-O-B-B-L-E-D, governor. And the many parts that cobbled him together all have senses of entitlement. And right now there is a big problem within the party about who to bring the largest number of commissioners and so on and so forth. So all of these are kept subterraneously, but of course as politicians we get all of this information. These issues you cannot wish away, you cannot jump over them. You are going to have to deal with them. Don't forget the issue of legitimacy. The case is still in court. For instance, I sitting here do not consider that the election of September 21st is concluded. Because until you conclude the court processes and you are able to explain the difference between what is in the IREV and the difference between what was announced, you have not concluded that process. So that's a process, that's the PDP system. But I'll be speaking as an Edo citizen. And I know that the man there now, the forces that brought him there, were set for a showdown. And all of that affects your policies. They even influence the kind of policies you choose to run. A man may be a man of himself, but you're a man of yourself if you achieve your goals yourself. Americans say if you want it done well, do it yourself. If you didn't do it yourself, you don't have the moral justification to tell those who did it for you that they don't have a say.
Okay.
That's the point. So that point is obvious. We cannot wish it away, irrespective of how we want to recalibrate it in our minds. That's the reality we are going to face.
Okay, thank you. Round off on same question.
To me, the issues are very direct. You know, I am a man of history. We have seen it, how it works. In this part of the world, Obaseki is a critical example I'll be citing. He started from the APC in Benishu.
He stepped on toes?
Not just an attempt for him to take a decision and be in charge. You know, I remember I listened to Governor Obaseki when he said, I cannot be governor without being the governor. You know, and you also know, you take your mind back, we have the lives of Professor Osareme, who also take a shot. We know how all this is happening. But I'm my interest in all the whole issues that Senator Okpebholo is an Esamba.
Okay, but with the way politics is played, is it avoidable to get the job done without stepping on toes?
In this part of the world, Nigeria, the power does no longer lies with the people. The power lies with the godfathers. That is the issue. Therefore, Senator Okpebholo must know how to manage his resources, because the power does not belong to the people again. The people can no longer cast their vote and you'll be declared the winner. It is the few cabals. The godfather will say, we are giving it to you, you have to be there. There are a series of records I can quote from here that you go back and see that the power does not belong to the people.
But that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
It is not my opinion.
We can't say that.
It is not my opinion.
We look at the need for us to get it right in our electoral process, the power belongs to the people. Only when the people, begin to sell their birthright or their conscience.
Now you look at it. The president of Nigeria just reshuffled the cabinet, and all of us we have been talking about our economy is not doing well. One will naturally expect the president to be bothered about our economy, bothered about our policy, monetary policy. He did not look at that direction. He was busy looking at the Ministry of Women Affairs, looking at that is enough for you to know that it's all about what we can grab. It's all about how do we retain our office. It's not about what we benefit the people. If it is what we benefit the people, what business does the president have to say he want to reshuffle the cabinet? It's not looking at the finance department. Okay. It's not looking at the economy. It's not looking at the CBA. Or how are we not going to be? We keep on rotating on this. And I said I'm a realist. I tell you the fact so that when you are sleeping, you say that man said it. I'm appealing to Senator Okpebholo. He should be able to demonstrate that courage to manage his success, to manage his people he work with, irrespective. Because if you want to just hit the ground running by offending them, he should go back and look the history. How those who came out to say we want to mistake them, how do they? Obaseki, whether you like it or not, Obaseki remains one of my best governors. It's not because I have not been his governor, I did not benefit anything from personally, but I look in Apple, the kind of policy he was able to establish. You move on the street of Benin, you have that sense of belonging that you are in town, you are not scared.
Okay.
He was able to look at power that they are there and say, no, let's have a state.
I think I have to cut in there. Thank you, and I take that as your round off on that. Big thanks for that. Let's take your round off in 1 minute. Matthew Edarase.
Yes, I will advise the incoming governor, Senator Okpebholo, to deploy goodwill and sincerity of purpose. That is even superior to technological advancement and e-governance and all of that. If there is sincerity in leadership, you will have dividends, there will be results. Because technology itself can be deployed to achieve fraud. So he should, as well as I want to advise him to embrace technology, he should also do so with sincerity of purpose and interrogate the processes to avoid scientific fraud that can be perpetrated through traditional deployment in governance.
Thank you. Okay, Damisa, let's get your round of remarks on this, most especially as regards to, in quote, godfathers, perceived godfathers, and of course, all that may be a clog in the wheel of progress if the governor is to patronize all of this after being sworn in.
Yes. Okay, you see, those who know the governor-elect Senator Monday Okpebholo have testified to his unassuming nature. They have testified to his humility. They have testified to his philanthropic inclination. And look, politics is all about compromise. Compromise on the basis that the welfare of the people is paramount, not on your principles. Don't compromise your principles, but compromise where it will meet the aspirations, the wishes and aspirations of the people. So on that basis, the governor knows what to do. He's not a neophyte. He's not a Bikanini. He's not an infant in politics. His ability to manage the coalition that brought him to power through the people. Remember, it is through the people. The people voted. He was declared winner by the vote of the people. So the people must come first in his approach. That is what I have to say. Thank you so much, Mr. Philip, for having me.
Contradicting what you said, he was voted into power, and basically the voice of the people counted Roy Oribabo. Big thanks, Roy, for taking out time to be part of this, and of course, Chris Ojekere.
Yes, Damisa, good morning. Long time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And big thanks, Matthew Edarase.
Hey, Edarase. It's a lesson word.
Thank you.
Edarase.
Thank you, Matthew Edarase. Big thanks for taking out time to be part of this.